Oh yeah, we're back. I know it's been a minute. I've been busy, been interviewing, looking for a new job, but that's all in another world. I've been delinquent in my most important duty, my most important responsibility in life. And that is making videos for people online. This is what I live for. This is what I do. So here we are, and we are back after almost a month of me being gone. That's all behind us now. Today I want to talk about possibly the most important problem facing society today. And it's something that people don't really talk about. What's the problem with smart people? Now, I'm not saying there's a personal problem with smart people, or they have some sort of vice, or that there's anything wrong with them in particular. No, I'm asking what's the problem with smart people for society? Why are smart people a problem for all of us? And what do I mean by smart people? And why did I write code for this? There is a comforting myth that most fairly intelligent people carry around. And that's that they believe what they believe because they are intelligent. And so this is something that they assume without really noticing it. And the myth doesn't seem to be as harmful as you might expect it to be upon first analysis until you look at the people who disagree with you. So imagine I hold some political belief. And I hold it strongly because I think it's the right thing, the intelligent thing to think. And I think the opposition are unintelligent. They believe what they believe because they're stupid. Well, the problem is the opposition thinks the same about me. It's not contributing anything to the discourse. So imagine this space of an intelligence gathering community. And so in this process, you are more likely to accept the opinions and the facts of those who you deem to be intelligent, and you are more likely to reject those of the people who you deem as foolish or stupid. Within your own community, you are in a feedback cycle of right belief. So for example, on one side of the political aisle in America, you will have people going to school and people becoming educated through traditional means. And to them, this is the objective or the correct way to go about gathering knowledge. For the other side of the country, that is pompous, or people are using large words to make themselves feel intelligent. And so to them, it doesn't seem to be the type of practical or applied intelligence that matters to them. And so someone thinks, oh, obviously the points that are being made by the other side are stupid and redundant or foolish. Well, the other side is thinking the same thing about us. And so we have a problem here. That problem is that it's very difficult to tell a smart or intelligent person that they're wrong. And you don't have to take my word for it. There's a plethora of examples of very intelligent people throughout history who thought wrong things. You have Newton drinking mercury and believing in alchemy, all the way to Einstein, who completely dismissed quantum mechanics. You have tons of examples of smart people who rejected correct theory because they had their own preconceived beliefs in their own feedback circles of what qualified as true knowledge. So basically what I'm saying is we're all screwed as a society and we will never know what's true. Not. Just kidding. Obviously that's dumb, but we need to be careful because the opinions that we take on and that we grow as a collective group to accept can be modeled by the code I showed you earlier. And I'm going to pull up on the screen somewhere. The model here, which is using arbitrary inputs, looks at the acceptance of belief like a dynamical system where the stability solution is the acceptance, the general acceptance of a belief as being true or right within a populace. The idea is that the prevailing opinions within a group are not selected for because they are 100% true or accurate. they just sound good to a bunch of people. And so we prop them up and we say, hey, this is a great idea. We all agree. But a lot of times they come out wrong, or they're not getting the full picture. And to drive this point home of how people can get into a feedback loop and think that their way is right, get so set in their ways that they actually end up hurting other people, I have come prepared with the story of Ignaz Semmelweis. In the 1840s, Semmelweis was working at the Vienna General Hospital in the city of, you guessed it, Vienna. The hospital had 2 maternity wards. One was staffed primarily by physicians and medical students, and the other was staffed by midwives. But something deeply disturbing appeared in the hospital records. The ward ran by doctors had a dramatically higher maternal mortality rate rather than the ward run by midwives. Women admitted to the physician-run ward were dying of what was then called childbed fever at several times the rate of those in the midwife ward. At first, the discrepancy made no sense. Doctors were highly trained, they had their credentials, they had their education, and midwives had less formal education. If intelligence and expertise are guaranteed better outcomes, then the doctor-run ward should have been safer, but the numbers showed the opposite. Semmelweis began investigating the difference. After carefully examining the routines of the 2 wards, he noticed something crucial. The physicians and medical students regularly performed autopsies in the morning and delivered babies without washing their hands. The midwives did not perform any autopsies at all. Semmelweis realized that the lack of cleanliness going from autopsies to deliveries was leading to the direct mortality rate increase for patients of doctors and medical students. But when he went to go and produce his results and inform the rest of the doctors and the medical students in Europe, his findings were largely resisted because implicit was that the midwives were doing it better than the doctors, and the doctors wouldn't have that. It wouldn't be until 20 to 25 years later that the medical society would realize that they were making mistakes and that they needed to employ proper hygiene practices before going into the delivery room. All of this largely reinforces the idea that there is a strong social, political, or aristocratic element that goes into the knowledge that we accept as being scientifically accurate or true. Now, and this is not to go against the scientific method or say science is wrong. I believe that science is the most powerful knowledge-seeking method that we have today. But intelligent people are more so prone to these strong feedback circles because there is no one to tell them that they are wrong and make a convincing argument in doing so. This is the exact moral of the story of the Emperor's New Clothes. In this story, an emperor goes out and he's wearing clothes that are said to be invisible to those who are incompetent or don't know how to do their job, but they are visible to those who are intelligent or know what they're doing in their line of work. And so the emperor goes out on parade naked, but everyone is too afraid to speak up to him because they don't want to look stupid. Now, typically, I've seen this myth used for emperors and people in political authority. But the thing is, it applies to societal pressure for intellectual authority just as much. So what is the way out of this if we have 2 opposing political parties and they're both swept up in their own feedback loops? One has their own appeals to authority, the other has their appeals to authority. How are we to know what's true? There is no substitution. There is no way to get past the self-critical analysis of the evidence. And in a way, that's what the scientific method is. So the end of this video is a challenge to all of you who watch this video to challenge your own beliefs. If you hold some piece of knowledge or some belief to be true because you think believing the opposite of such a belief would make you stupid, or if you hold something to be true without critical self-analysis of the facts, then you are engaging in the same type of feedback loop that the people opposed to you on the other side of the discussion are also engaging in. If that is your way that you come to know something to be true, then it's not a very good way to know anything at all. The only way that you should come to know and believe in something is by self-critical, empirical analysis of all of the evidence that you can find.